talking, feeling, reading, writing, learning, walking, dreaming, etc. None of this would be possible without our brain. It is thanks to our brain that we are aware of the world around us, of our friends with whom we can interact. It is also the one that commands and controls your feelings. The brain is the most important organ in mental illness, as it is where the complex mental processes that are affected in mental disorders occur. Mental illnesses are generally associated with changes in brain structure and function, including chemical imbalances in neurotransmitters, abnormalities in neural networks, and changes in brain plasticity. These changes can affect the brain's ability to process information, regulate emotions, and manage behavior. Many mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia, depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety disorders, and autism spectrum disorders, have been associated with abnormalities in specific brain regions. For example, schizophrenia has been associated with abnormalities in the prefrontal cortex, thalamus and limbic system, while depression has been associated with abnormalities in the anterior cingulate cortex and prefrontal cortex. We will explore and detail the structure of the brain. We will explore and detail the structure of the brain. We will explore and detail the structure of the brain. The human brain, located in the skull, weighs about 1.3 kilograms and is 75% water. It consumes 15 to 20% of the energy produced by the human body, essentially glucose, a simple sugar provided by the food. It is composed of two hemispheres, each with 6 lobes, to which are added the cerebellum, the brain stem, and deep down the limbic brain called emotional. Each lobe plays a predominant role in certain major general functions, and remains in permanent connection with the others. The frontal lobe is the place of reasoning, planning, language, and voluntary motor coordination. The frontal lobe is the place of reasoning, planning, language, and voluntary motor coordination. The frontal lobe is the place of reasoning, planning, language, and voluntary motor coordination. The temporal lobe, center of hearing, memory, and emotion. Parietal lobe, tactile sensitivity, programming of movements, representation in space. The parietal lobe is linked to tactile sensitivity, programming of movements, representation in space. The parietal lobe is linked to tactile sensitivity, programming of movements, representation in space. The parietal lobe is linked to tactile sensitivity, programming of movements, representation in space. The parietal lobe is associated with tactile sensitivity, programming of movements, and spatial representation. The occipital lobe is related to the integration of visual messages. The limbic lobe is linked to the processing of emotions, affects, and memory.